Namaste friends. In today's Final Punch KCET 2020 series, thermodynamics I am going to discuss. Synopsis part we will see. So we know that system and surrounding. So remember one thing, from system to surrounding, if the heat is released, then we can call that reaction as exothermic reaction. If system has absorbed the heat from the surrounding, we call it as endothermic reaction. In exothermic, where Q is equal to negative, endothermic positive, W less than 0 and W is more than 0 in case of endothermic reaction. Then type of system. So open system, closed system, isolated system. So remember, open system means system to surrounding, energy and matter both exchange. System and surrounding only energy exchange but not matter. Closed system, energy and matter does not exchange at all. That is called as isolated system. Then remember two definitions, state function and a path function. So state functions are nothing but the variables that depends only on the initial and final states of the system. It will depends only on the initial and the final states. For example, pressure, volume, etc. or internal energy. But path function is nothing but variable whose value depends on the path followed by the system, that is work, heat, etc. So here I have given one flow chart, very important and very simple. Types of processes, all the processes comes under here. See, first one, endothermic, exothermic. Exothermic, heat evolved, endothermic, heat absorbed. Already we have discussed. Then isothermal means delta T is equal to 0 at constant temperature. Constant volume, isochoric. Constant pressure, isobaric. Q is equal to 0. Constant heat, adiabatic. Irreversible and reversible process. Reversible proceeds in both direction. Irreversible proceeds only in one direction, which cannot be reversed. And cyclic process, remember these two conditions where delta U is equal to 0 and delta H is equal to 0. Then extensive and intensive property. By giving the options, they can ask you to identify. Very simple. Remember some examples, very famous examples. Properties which depends on the amount of matter, extensive. Extensive means it depends on the matter. Intensive means which does not depending on the matter. Extensive means the example mass, volume, enthalpy, entropy, heat capacity, free energy, internal energy, all this comes under extensive. Intensive property, pressure, temperature, density, melting point, boiling point, viscosity, surface tension, refractive index, specific heat. So if you read one or two times, so definitely you can understand the examples also. Very, very important extensive and intensive property. Then extensive divided by extensive. Remember, ratio of two extensive properties are always intensive property. Best example is density. Mass by volume is equal to density. Both are extensive, give rise to intensive property. Then internal energy means what? Internal energy is nothing but sum of all type of energies present in the system. So internal energy is also given as U or delta U, change in internal energy as delta U or delta E, internal energy of the product minus reactant. Remember, delta U can be calculated by using bomb calorimeter. That detailed explanation is not needed for CET, don't worry about that. Then first law of thermodynamics, remember, energy can either be created nor be destroyed, can be converted from one form to another. Total universe, the energy of the universe remains constant. Remember this particular expression, delta E or delta U is equal to Q plus W. Q plus W. It may be Q minus W also depending on the sign convention. How the sign convention work out? See, work done on the system positive. Work done by the system negative. Remember, work done by the system. What happens when work is done by the system? Remember, definitely, so W become negative. How we can remember is, remember, so work done by the system. So work is done from that particular system. Hence remember, it has given out its energy. Correct? It has given out its energy. So W become negative. W become positive. Similarly, heat absorbed by the system positive, heat released by the system negative. This is already we have discussed. That is heat, exothermic and endothermic reaction. Same. By the system, that is exothermic. Work, these two formulas you remember, these three formulas especially. Work done in irreversible expansion and reversible, isothermal reversible expansion. Irreversible minus P external delta V, nothing but delta V, Vf minus Vi, final minus initial volume. Work done in isothermal reversible expansion of gas, W is equal to minus 2.303 nRT log V2 by V1. So PV is equal to nRT. Hence remember, W is equal to minus 2.3 nRT log P1 by P2. V2, P1. V2 numerator, P1 is numerator. Inversely proportional. Then enthalpy. Total heat absorbed or released during the reaction at constant pressure is called as enthalpy. Remember, enthalpy and this internal energy relationship, very important formula. So delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. Delta H is equal to delta U plus delta NGRT, because PV is equal to nRT. So there we have taken delta NGRT. R and T is constant, remember. So delta Ng, number of gas product minus reactant. Delta Ng means number of gaseous product minus reactants. Remember, by giving the reaction, they can ask you to calculate. So in which reaction delta H is more than delta U? This was asked in 2019 paper. I will show you later. So such question when it is come, remember delta Ng you have to calculate. Then enthalpy change at constant pressure. What happens is sometimes they will not ask directly delta H and delta U. So indirectly they will give it as enthalpy change at constant pressure. That is nothing but delta H. Remember, QP we call it as. Enthalpy change at constant volume. For NEET exam also important. QV is equal to delta U. Which means enthalpy change is always enthalpy change at constant pressure. Enthalpy change at constant volume is also called as change in internal energy. That is delta U. Remember this point. Now, therefore, when I substitute that here, delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V, you can also write as QP is equal to QV plus P delta V, or QP is equal to QV plus delta Ng RT. Remember this formula and this formula, one and the other same. Only difference is instead of delta H, I have written QP. Instead of delta U, I have written QV. Then heat capacity. Remember formula, heat capacity, specific heat capacity, molar heat capacity. Heat capacity antandreno. Generally, the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of the system through 1 degree Celsius is called as heat capacity. So, the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of any system through 1 degree. If that system is, remember, 1 gram of the substance. See, very simple. Heat capacity means general system. If that system is raised the temperature of 1 gram of the substance, we call it as a specific heat capacity. That is CS or small c also we'll call it as. Similarly, amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole when I consider molar heat capacity. Molar 1 mole, specific heat 1 gram, heat capacity general expression that is. So now, heat capacity expression C is equal to Q by delta T. Q is equal to C delta T also you can write. Similarly here, CS is equal to C by M here. See why I have taken, this is the same heat capacity divided by M, nothing but mass of the substance. So here you can see molar heat capacity Cm is equal to C divided by N. N means number of moles. Here mole, hence you have taken N. Here mass, hence you have taken M. So here Q divided by delta T. Same expression here it is applicable. Only difference is, remember, this C means heat capacity, CS means specific heat capacity, Cm means molar heat capacity. So, for example, you see specific heat capacity of water is 1 calorie. What is the meaning? The meaning of this is the 1 gram of the water. 1 gram of the water, if you consider, the temperature required, the heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water to 1 degree Celsius is 1 calorie, nothing but 4.18 joule per gram per Kelvin. So remember that. Now, remember this formula. If they ask heat Q is equal to mc into delta T. Remember delta T is T2 minus T1. M is mass of the substance. C means specific heat. C means specific heat. Remember, not this one. Small c I have taken. If you are confusing with this, you will write CS first. CS. And Q is heat required to raise the temperature from T1 to T2. Now what happens is, this is from 0 degree Celsius to 1 it is. But here if they ask T2 to T1, then you have to use this formula. Q is equal to MCS delta T. Remember that. Then, very important these 2 points. Heat capacity at constant volume we call it as CV. Heat capacity at constant pressure is called as CP. Which is constant we have written along with C. That's all. So Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Derivation I will not explain in detail. That is for theory exam we will explain. But here remember Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Gas constant R. Then for NEET level, it is not for JEE, this CET, generally NEET or JEE, remember this part. So I have explained here only. So now what happens is they can ask you to identify atomicity of the gas. Atomicity means what is the number of atoms present in the molecule. So Cp by Cv is equal to Cv, it is Cv. So Cp by Cv is equal to gamma. Gamma is, sorry, gamma. Gamma is nothing but atomicity of the gas. Remember, if monoatomic, gamma should be 1.66. Diatomic 1.40, triatomic 1.30. In CET, one question on this they have not asked, hence you will get it this type of question in NEET and JEE. Then Hess law, very simple. If the reaction can be taken place by more than one steps, remember, then when more than one step means the number of steps, enthalpy change remains the same. Enthalpy change remains. For example, A to B, B to C. I want A to C. Q is equal to A to B, Q1, B to C, Q2. So Q is nothing but the addition of this, sum of this, which means enthalpy remains the same. Remember that. Now, different types of the enthalpies. Very simple definition it is. Once you read this, so such one, we have not seen any type of question on this generally, but you have to understand that. See, enthalpy of reaction is nothing but amount of heat change, nothing but enthalpy change when number of moles of reactants given in a balanced chemical equation have completely react to give product. Reaction, enthalpy of reaction is very simple. So whatever the reaction is given, according to balanced chemical equation, what is the heat change during the reaction to give rise to the product? That is nothing but delta RH. So it is given by HP minus HR, very important. Product minus reactant. Everywhere product minus reactant, you see. U, product minus reactant. Delta H also, delta H, enthalpy also, remember, product minus reactant only. So remember, very important. See, delta Ng, product minus reactant. So here also, product minus reactant. Only one time where reactant minus product, I will tell you that. Product minus reactant. Now, enthalpy of reaction depends on what all the factors, the nature of reaction, physical states of the reactant and product, quantities of reactant, allotropic forms and temperature, all these it depends. More information you can read any of the reference book, but don't waste your time in perfecting these things, because from thermodynamics very less number of questions are asked. If you are preparing for NEET, you will get more time, so you can read for that. Then delta H formation, change in enthalpy when one mole of substance is formed directly from its element in their stable state. Remember, if delta H formation is negative, then that particular reaction is stable. Remember that. Negative is stable. Combustion, enthalpy change when one mole of substance is completely burnt in oxygen. This is also, remember, always negative. And hydration, change in enthalpy when one mole of anhydrous substance combined with the required number of water molecule to convert it into hydrated compound. So delta H of hydration we call it as. Fusion. Fusion is nothing but liquid, the solid to liquid. Very simple. Change in enthalpy is common, hence I have written it in red ink. So remaining you can apply. Change in enthalpy when one mole of solid converted into liquid. Its melting point. Vaporization, one mole of substance liquid converted into vapor at its boiling point. Sublimation means directly from solid to vapor. One mole of solid converted into vapor. Remember that. Enthalpy of solution. Enthalpy of solution is nothing but change in enthalpy when a mole of substance dissolved in excess of water, so that further dilution does not involve any heat change. So once the heat change is over, if you add any amount of water, it should not change any heat change. So that is change in the enthalpy of solution. Very important is this part. Enthalpy of neutralization, change in enthalpy when 1 gram equivalent of an acid completely neutralized by 1 gram equivalent of the base. Now just very important is delta S neutralization of strong acid and strong base always constant, that is minus 57.1 kilojoule per mole. It was asked once, remember. So hence very important, enthalpy of neutralization of strong acid and strong base is always constant. Remember that point. Then bond energy, important point. Bond energy, amount of energy released when number of moles of bonds formed from the isolated atoms in the gaseous state. Which means, for example, remember, if CH4, for example, if you consider C plus 2H2 give rise to CH4. I have considered the example. I have written here only because now with relation to this, I am going to explain something here. Right. So now, see this, the bond energy, always remember one thing, whenever the two atoms combine together to form a bond, energy is released. Then when we want to break that bond, energy is required. So now you can define it in both the ways. One way, amount of energy released when this particular bond is formed between C and H to form CH4. Or another definition, amount of energy required to dissociate 1 mole of bond. Both are same. Amount of energy released during the bond formation, or you can say amount of energy required to dissociate 1 mole of the bonds, that is called as bond energy. Now generally what happens is, diatomic molecule, very easy to calculate bond energy. Whatever the bond energy will calculate, that is nothing but dissociation energy. But polyatomic molecules, what happens is, average value is taken. Average value, why it is taken, I will tell you. See, in CH4, we have 4 CH bonds, correct? So here, one after the another bond we have to break. So when you break one bond, one CH bond, then remember, so that atmosphere between the another CH, for example, here I will tell you, see CHHHH, here it is like this. I will break this bond first. Remember, when I break this bond, it will form H and this CH3. Now when I break this CH, when I used to break this bond, the atmosphere around this CH3, when I used to break this bond, the atmosphere around this CH3 is totally different. Because of that reason, remember, energy is also different. Hence, we cannot say that whatever the energy required to break this bond into 4 if I do, I will get for 4 bonds. Wrong concept. Remember that. So always here we are going to consider average energy. Now you can say, for to break one bond we required 427, then second bond 439, third bond 452, fourth bond 347, like that. Now what we'll do, total amount of energy required for the breaking of all the 4 bonds divided by number of bonds, 4. You are going to get this. So this is, remember, average bond energy. Very important thing it is. Then please note that if you want to calculate heat of reaction or enthalpy of reaction, remember, we can easily calculate if the bond energy is given by using this formula, summation of bond energy of reactant minus summation of bond energy of product. Remember, similarly, if it is delta H of reaction by when they give formation of the elements, that is enthalpy of formation, then it is product minus reactant. Remember, very important, why I have written these two is that, and this point especially is that, as I told, everywhere you can see product minus reactant, product minus reactant. Once again I will show you product minus reactant, see product minus reactant, then product minus reactant, but only here bond energy by using that if you want to calculate delta H or reaction. Very, very, very important, because these are the things we forget, remember, in the exam. So hence, delta HR is equal to summation of bond energy of reactants minus product. Everywhere it is product minus reactant, but only at this point of time, reactants versus product, reactant minus product. Very, very important. One problem is there. I will show you how to solve such questions when they ask this type of question. Yes, this is about this Born-Haber cycle. Finally, lattice energy can be calculated by using Born-Haber cycle. So one example I have given, if you possible, you remember this. Fine. Lattice energy of NaCl is equal to, so lattice energy is given like this. That can be calculated by using delta H of formation. That can be given it as delta H of formation of NaCl, delta H of sublimation plus half of delta H of dissociation plus ionization energy minus electron gain enthalpy minus internal energy. So lattice energy is nothing but, it is not internal energy, it is lattice energy, LE I will write. If there is a confusion, actually lattice energy and internal energy both are designated as U only, but confusion, why there should be confusion here? So I will write as lattice energy LE, no problem. Now, if you know all these things, you can calculate LE. Such question also it was not asked. Generally, possibility is very less on this, so don't worry about that. Then second law of thermodynamics, all spontaneous processes are thermodynamical, irreversible, very important. Entropy of the universe is always increasing. Remember these 2 points. Second law of thermodynamics. 3 laws of thermodynamics you have to remember. Second law of thermodynamics, all spontaneous processes of thermodynamically irreversible. Remember, so entropy of the universe is always increasing. Nothing but when entropy increasing, remember, spontaneous process it will come. So spontaneous processes are, remember, thermodynamically irreversible. Then what is entropy? Entropy is nothing but measure of disorderness or randomness. Remember, that is indicated by S and change in entropy as delta S, and the unit is joule per Kelvin per mole. Then it is given it as, remember, delta S is equal to S2 minus S1 is equal to Q reversible divided by T. So because it is only reversible reaction, so Q reversible divided by T is equal to delta H divided by T. So remember, this is delta S is equal to S2 minus S1. Now you can see here, entropy of the solid, liquid, gas, if I consider, gas is always more. More because in particular gas, the atoms are very away from each other, which means the entropy will be more. Then liquid, the arrangement will be somewhat in order. So, but solid, it is orderly arranged. Hence, remember, solid entropy is negative, liquid positive, gas more and more positive. Here, positive negative means, remember, positive means increasing, negative means decreasing or less. Aste meaning idu. So, for example, I will give you H2O liquid to H2O solid. Liquid to solid I have considered. So, freezing, delta S become negative, decreases. So, dry ice to CO2. Dry ice is solid carbon dioxide. CO2 it becomes, that is gas. Gas, delta S is positive. Once it was asked in some NEET exam I have seen, proteins undergo denaturation, what about the entropy? Remember, proteins undergo denaturation, entropy increases. They will not give directly protein. What they will give is, when egg is boiled, what about the entropy change? See. When egg is boiled, entropy changes increases, remember. Because in protein, already we have seen, there will be a tertiary structure, quaternary structure like that. When there is a denaturation, it will convert into primary structure. Primary structure, remember, so it is not having that orderly arrangement. So, hence remember, entropy increases. Then entropy change during the phase transformation. Only this is important for NEET point of view. Delta S total can be calculated as delta S of the system plus delta H of the surroundings. Remember that. Then delta S of the fusion can be given it as delta H of the fusion divided by melting point. See, Q divided by T I have told, right? Q antandre here, delta H of fusion divided by melting point. Vaporization, delta S of vapors is nothing but delta H of vaporization divided by boiling point. Delta S of sublimation is equal to delta H of sublimation divided by T. Delta S, delta H divided by T. T is the temperature, whatever they will give. Here the temperature is melting point and boiling point. Now, always remember, delta S system plus surrounding, if it is equal to 0, irreversible. Delta S system plus surrounding is more than equal to 0, more than 0, irreversible. Remember, less than 0 is not possible, hence I have not written. Plus this equal to 0, reversible, more than 0, irreversible process. Once again, this if you are not understood, don't worry about this for the point of time, hence for CET it is not important. Then spontaneous process. Remember, spontaneous process which occurs either of its own or after initiation. Very simple, spontaneous process. For example here, so you have CET exam on July 30 and 31st. So if you keep that point in your mind, I have to read, I have to get good rank, then if you start reading, that is spontaneous process. Remember, if in your house it is continuously, it is forced, so you have to read, the exam is there, you have to read like that, that is non-spontaneous process. Remember, spontaneous processes are always more stable, non-spontaneous processes are not stable, remember my dear students. Then, non-spontaneous does not occur of its own. Gibbs free energy. So, G is given as, and change in Gibbs free energy, delta G. So, maximum amount of energy available for the system to do useful work. Remember, generally we will have enormous energy, but how much energy we will utilize in doing some useful work, that is nothing but free energy of the system. G is equal to, given equation is given it as G is equal to H minus Ts. Delta, change in free energy, delta G is equal to delta H minus C delta S. Remember these three conditions. Delta H if it is delta G, if it is negative spontaneous, positive non-spontaneous, delta G equal to 0, that is equilibrium. Very important, last part in this synopsis part of the chapter. Very, very important. This column, this table, remember, fix this point in your mind. See, everything is based on this formula. Remember that. See, first, delta S negative, delta S positive, delta G always negative. See how delta H negative. You put negative, negative of negative, right? Negative of negative is positive. Then positive and negative, always it is negative. See. Delta S is positive, correct? Delta H is negative, sorry. Delta S negative, delta S is positive. Correct? So positive of negative is nothing but always negative. Negative, negative will get always negative, spontaneous at all temperature. Now, positive, negative. See, delta H is positive, delta S is negative. Delta S is negative. See, negative of negative become positive. So positive, positive, delta G become positive. Hence, it is always non-spontaneous at any temperature. Very easy to remember. Negative, positive, positive, negative, negative, positive, spontaneous, positive, negative, non-spontaneous. How you can remember? Here is a trick. Trick antandre, you can remember it like this. See, if delta H is negative, delta G negative. If delta H is positive, delta G positive. Very simple, isn't it? If delta H is negative, delta G negative. Delta H is positive, delta G positive. Very simple. Now, If delta H is positive, remember delta S positive, if delta S positive, both are positive, at low temperature, positive it is, remember, delta G positive. See, this is positive and this is positive. Positive of negative will get negative. Correct? Positive of negative will get negative. Now, at low temperature, what happens is T delta S will be less than. At low temperature, T delta S will be less than delta H. Hence, remember, non-spontaneous process. You are going to get positive delta G. Now, at high temperature, it becomes negative. Negative spontaneous process. See, positive idru kuda. At high temperature, what happens is, see, this is positive, this is negative of positive, negative. So now, if T delta S is less, then this value increases, delta H become positive, delta G become positive. But if it is both are positive, at a high temperature, remember, temperature, this negative part increases. Negative part increases, hence remember, the delta G become negative, spontaneous process. If you are not understood, sit, you pause this video, take one paper and solve this, definitely you will understand that. Yes, negative and negative. Both are negative, remember, at low temperature, it is negative. See, both are negative. Negative of negative, positive. It is negative, it is positive. Then low temperature means it is less. Hence, negative part increases. Hence, delta G become negative, spontaneous process. At high temperature, remember, it is positive, non-spontaneous process. When negative and negative, at high temperature, non-spontaneous process. So remember, very, very important. These part, it is asked in exam. Very, very important point. So now, one thing already I told, all spontaneous processes are more stable, no doubt in it. Whenever spontaneous processes are more stable, rate of reaction generally more. Rate of reaction will be more. Because of that reason, you can say spontaneous processes are more stable. Third law of thermodynamics, last point. Remember this point once it was asked in the exam 2016 or 17, I hope. Now you see. Entropy of the perfectly crystalline substance at absolute zero, nothing but 0 Kelvin, not 0 degrees Celsius. Remember this point, fix this point, 0 degrees Celsius, Allah ido, 0 Kelvin. Absolute zero is taken as 0. See, entropy of the perfectly crystalline solid. So what is perfect crystalline solid then? See, perfect crystalline solid is nothing but without any imperfections. In solid state I have discussed imperfections or defects. Without any defects. If it is perfectly crystalline solid, which means there is no defects at all. Entropy of such a substance at absolute zero is taken as 0. Very important statement, remember. So this is about the thermodynamics CET synopsis part. Once again I will tell you, if you are not joined my Telegram group, so Telegram app you have to download in your mobile. So link is given in the description box. Join this group so that you will get all these beautiful colorful notes. So remember, instead of wasting 2-3 hours to read that particular chapter, so in half an hour you can finish this particular chapter. So remember, it is very helpful in NEET also. CET is very it's not very far, but NEET we have time. So for NEET also, first you can refer this. If you don't have Telegram app, so download that. Before that, remember, so if you are not subscribed to my channel, if you are visiting to my channel for the first time, please subscribe, then use this Telegram, join to my group. I will help you in this regard. Yes, now we will discuss about PYQs of thermodynamics, previous year questions. Very simple. First we will see the reaction in which delta H is more than delta U. What is the formula? Delta H is equal to delta U plus delta Ng RT. Now you can say if delta Ng is more than 0, right? Then definitely delta H will be equal to delta U. Correct? Sorry, more than U, correct? More than U. Delta H will be more than delta U. Because if delta Ng is 0, so this becomes 0, sorry, more than 0. For example, 1 you consider. Then RT into delta U is equal to delta S, and definitely delta H will be more. Hence, now you will see 2 minus 2. Here delta N is equal to 0. Here 2 minus 4. Delta N is equal to minus 2. Here 2 plus 1, 3. And here 2 plus 1, 3. So delta N is equal to 0. And this is the only equation where delta N is equal to 1. Why it is 1? See, 1, solid we will not consider. So 1 here. So directly it is 1. So the answer for this question is 2. Yes. Very simple. See, the reaction has both delta H and delta S negative. The rate of reaction. See, the reaction has both delta H and delta S is negative. the rate of reaction. I told you delta H negative, both are negative, delta H negative, delta G negative, correct? Delta G negative. So now you can see. So in this particular case, so now you have to see, cannot be predicted for change in temperature, increase with increase in temperature, increase with decrease in temperature, remains unaffected by change in temperature, it is there. Now you have to see whether this reaction is spontaneous at which condition. At which condition? You see now, when both are negative, spontaneous at low temperature, correct? See, when both are negative, spontaneous at low temperature. Hence remember, increase with decrease in temperature is the answer. Because the rate of reaction, I told, the rate of reaction, all spontaneous reactions are more stable and rate of reaction increases. So, rate of reaction increases for the spontaneous process. Spontaneity will be achieved when temperature is less. Hence remember, increases with decrease in temperature is the answer for this question. So, C is the answer. Then I told you, 2017. So, third law of thermodynamics statement idu. So, correct statement regarding the entropy is, at absolute zero temperature, entropy of the perfectly crystalline solid is zero. Definitely it should be the answer. So, it is not the answer because at absolute zero temperature, entropy of the perfectly crystalline solid is positive. Wrong. At absolute zero temperature, the entropy of all crystalline substance is wrong. It is only perfectly crystalline solid. At 0 degree Celsius, once again, there is a chance. But 0 degree Celsius is given. But remember, 0 Kelvin it is, not degree Celsius. Hence the answer for this question is A. Now, if the bond energy mele one problem ide, I will show you how to do this. If the bond energies of HH, BR and HBr is given, then delta H naught for this reaction is. So remember, delta H naught for this reaction can be given it as, see, wherever not is there, it is standard condition. Remember that point. I have not told in the synopsis, but remember that not means standard condition. So, standard condition means 1 mole 298 Kelvin like that. So, delta H is equal to summation of bond energy of the reactant minus summation of bond energy of the product. Very, very important point. Reactant and product. Product minus reactant, if you do, everything is 0. Remember that. Now, in this case, bond energy of reactant is, 2 reactants are there, correct? So, add these two. So, bond energy of HH plus bond energy of BR minus bond energy of HBr. But remember, HBr, how many are there? 2 are there, correct? So, 2 are there into 2. Very important, this into 2. Now, add this bond energy of HH is how much? 433 plus this is 192 minus 2 into 364. 2 into 364. 433 plus 192 minus 2 into 364. If you calculate this, you are going to get the answer it as minus 103 kilojoule. Hence the answer for this question is this. Right? Very important, this point. Minus 103. Now, in reaction, 2015 asked question is, remember here there is no answer. First only I will write that. There is no confusion. There is no answer correct. There was a grace marks given for this question in 2015. How? You see, S plus 3 by 2 O2, SO3 plus 2x kilojoule it is. 2x kilojoule. SO2 plus half O2 give rise to SO3 plus y kilojoule. Heat of formation of SO2 they are asking. So that problem I will do it here. I will write once again. So remember, S plus 3 by 2 O2 give rise to SO3 plus 2 kilojoule, 2x kilojoules, nothing but remember whenever it is plus at product side, it is exothermic reaction. Hence what I will do, delta H is equal to exothermic reaction minus 2x. Remember, minus 2x I am going to write. Right. Now it is SO2 plus half O2 give rise to SO3. Once again here also I will write as minus y kilojoule. Plus 2x is nothing but minus 2x. Plus 2y is nothing but minus y. Why I have taken minus? Because whenever the heat is released at the product side, it is exothermic reaction. If that is given here plus 2x product's reactant side, then it is endothermic reaction. Remember that point. Now, this is over. Now, which reaction you want? Heat of formation of SO2. Heat of formation of SO2 is how much? So, S plus O2 give rise to SO2. Very simple. Standard S, standards condition, SO2. They are asking delta H of formation is how much? Now you see. Now from this, see, Here the first reaction, we required reaction is this. SS is at the reactant side, no problem, we'll take same. But SO2 we require the product side. So what we'll do? This is reaction 2 I will take, is reaction 1 I will take. So reverse reaction 2. If I reverse the reaction 2, what happens is, in this particular case, SO3 give rise to SO2 plus half O2. Correct? So remember, at the same time, this delta H become what? Plus Y. Very, very important point it is. Exothermic of the forward reaction. So endothermic backward reaction. So remember that point. So not only delta H, delta U, delta S, everything is going to change when you change that reaction. Hence, reverse reaction 2, SO3 give rise to SO2 plus half O2, delta H is equal to plus Y. Now what is required? This reaction, right? Now this reaction and this reaction we add. First reaction and this reaction we add. Now, SO3 get cancelled. Correct? Here, you can see, half 3 by 2 O2 minus half O2. What is left? 1 O2. S is left. Right? S is left, 1 O2 is left, and SO2 is left here. SO2 is left. Now what is known? This you have to add. So minus 2x plus y. Correct? Minus 2x plus y you have to do. So now, or you can write it also, this also, y minus 2x delta HF. See whether that option is given. Y minus 2x, nowhere it is given. So 2x minus y is given, wrong it is. Y minus 2x is the answer, remember. Hence you can say no answer, grace marks in this case. Now conversion of oxygen into ozone, non-spontaneous at. See, we'll see, write the reaction. 2O3 give rise to 3O2. Sorry, reverse it. 3O2 give rise to 2O3. Correct? Now, see what is delta H? Delta S. See, delta S you can write very easily because this is also gas, this is also gas. Here 3 moles of gas, 2 moles of gas. When 3 moles of gas convert into 2 moles of gas, always remember delta S is going to decrease. Hence I can write this as negative. Correct? Now, delta H. Delta H to tell, remember, you have to remember one point here. In P block element, we will discuss the preparation of ozone. What we will tell? When oxygen gas is passed through silent electric discharge. See, silent electric discharge means you are providing heat. You are providing heat, correct? So hence I will write positive. Hence I will write positive here. Right? Now you can see. In this particular case, use the formula delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Now delta H is positive. Minus from formula. T delta S is negative, right? Now solve. Minus plus, minus of minus is plus. See, whatever the temperature you take, any temperature, nothing but all temperature, delta G will be positive only. Correct? Delta G is positive only. So, see, here also you can see that delta H positive, delta S negative. Always positive at any temperature. Hence remember, at all temperature, it is non-spontaneous. Like this, you can easily solve. Now, this is 2014 asked question. Ratio of heat liberated at 298 Kelvin from the combustion of 1 kg of coke and by the burning water gas. Water gas means CO plus S2. Remember. Burning water gas obtained from 1 kg of coke is, assume the coke is 100% carbon. Given enthalpy of combustion of carbon, CO and S2 are 393.5, 285 and 285 respectively. This is the ratio is given. Then how to solve such question? Very, very important. Listen this very carefully. So, now what is given? First, what they are asking, the ratio of combustion of 1 kg of coke. First, we will write combustion of coke reaction. C plus O2 give rise to CO2. So, combustion of coke, what is the amount of energy given? So, delta HC is equal to minus 390. See, here ratio they have asked. So, if you take minus or plus, there is no problem in that. So, but enthalpy of combustion, I will take it as minus 393.50 kilojoule. Correct? So, now, they are asking burning of water gas. Burning of water gas, I will write it here. CO plus H2 is known as water gas. Correct? So CO plus S2 is known as water gas. When it is burnt in presence of oxygen, you are going to get CO2 plus H2O. Very, very important. Remember, CO plus S2 plus O2. So CO plus S2 is water gas. This is water gas, remember. Water gas plus oxygen burning give rise to CO2 plus H2O. Now come back to this. Now this is for 1 mole. This is for 1 mole, remember. All these are 1 mole, kilojoules per mole. But what is the amount they have given? 1 kg. First we will calculate how many moles of carbon present in this. Now, moles of carbon is equal to 1 kg means what is the mass? So mole is equal to mass by molecular mass, correct? So mass by molecular mass is 1000. Molecular mass is 12. So 1000 divided by 12. So 1000 divided by 12 when you do, you are going to get 1000. 12 8s are 98, correct? So you are going to get it as 83.3. Fine, if you take 80 also no problem at all, because finally it is going to cancel with each other. 83 mole. Hence remember, for this how much I have to write? Delta H is equal to 83.3 into 393.5. Why I have to write 83.3? Because remember, they have given 1 kg. Andre 83.3 mole. So 1 mole give rise to this much energy. 83.3 mole give rise to 83.3 into 393. So this is the value for heat liberated for 1 kg of coke. Now we will calculate heat liberated for burning of water gas. See, burning of water gas, they have given combustion of CO and combustion of H2. What is the value? See, what is the value is given? I have to add all those. Delta H is equal to combustion of CO is 285 plus combustion of S2 is 285, right? Plus, see, remember, this is for 1 mole. Once again, this is for 1 mole. But how many moles are there? 83.3. See that problem clearly. Coke, and by burning water gas obtained from 1 kg of coke, which means this mole is applicable here also. Hence, I will write plus 83. So in this particular case, I have to do it not plus, it is into, because 1 mole, this is 83.3. 83.3. Understood? See, C plus O2 CO2, this is minus 393 kilojoule is 1 mole. This is also minus. Remember, you will get finally minus answer only. Minus. So, for 1 mole is this much. Calculate the number of moles in 1 kg of carbon. So, 83.3 mole. So, this into this give rise to total the amount of heat released when 1 kg of coke is burnt. Then burning of water gas will give rise to. Water gas is CO plus S2, burning give rise to CO2 plus H2O. So, enthalpy of combustion of CO I have taken, S2 I have taken. Then for 1 kg they are asking once again. Hence I have did for 83.3. Now the ratio is, remember, ratio you calculate 83.3 into 393.5 is to take all these things. 83.3 into 285 plus 285. So in this particular case, 285 plus 285 will get around 570. Correct? So now this will get cancelled. So 393.5 is to 570. Now calculate the answer. You are going to get 393 ones, 393 ones, 393, and remaining is around 0.69 or 7 like this. Correct? So answer for this question is this one. 0.69 is to 1. Right? Very important, very simple. So, salpa question na artha madkobeku. You have to understand the question. That is very, very important. Yes. Now come to this question. For the reaction 2H2 plus O2, 2H2O, delta H is given. Heat of decomposition of H2O. See, heat of decomposition of H2O is H2O give rise to H2 plus half O2. Why have taken this? Why have given this? See, here this for 2 moles. This for 2 moles. But heat of decomposition I have considered for 1 mole. So 1 water molecule H2 plus half O2. So it is minus 571. Here it should be reversed it because I have reversed the reaction. So it is plus 571. Plus 571. But for 2 moles, remember, here it is for 1 mole. Hence remember, for 1 mole it is 571 divided by 2. What is the answer? Very important. Very simple. 285.8. Understood? Why it is 285? See, 2 moles 571. 1 mole 285. Very simple. The value of entropy of the solar system, very, very important. You can tell this answer based on second law of thermodynamics. What is second law of thermodynamics? So, entropy of the universe is always increasing. Hence, the answer for this question is increasing. Remember that. Process is spontaneous at given temperature, which means constant temperature. If, see, process is spontaneous at given temperature. What one constant temperature is given? When? The answer for this question is this one. Delta is negative, delta is positive. It is spontaneous at all temperature. Remember, at all temperature it is spontaneous. Hence, this is the answer for this question, 2013 asked question. So this is about the thermodynamics synopsis and this previous year questions. Remaining only 4 chapters: states of matter, redox reaction, hydrogen, and this environmental chemistry. And all those are very simple chapter that I am going to finish within tomorrow night. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Share this maximum those who require. So thank you. Have a nice day.